welcome to Amazing Women in E-Commerce Online. My name is Kayla Siegel, and I'm the co-marketing manager here at Yotpo, an e-commerce marketing platform that helps brands of all sizes strengthen their relationship with consumers through loyalty, SMS marketing, reviews, subscriptions, and more. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank our event sponsors, Refersion, Verbal Plus Visual, SearchSpring, and Nosto. All of their sponsorship contributions were donated to Girls Inc., a nonprofit organization with the central goal of empowering and inspiring girls and young women. Now, let's talk community. If you're joining us live and want to talk about the event on social media, please use the hashtag WomenInEcom, ecom with 2 M's. You can tag us too at WomenInEcom and at Yotpo. And if you haven't joined yet, there's a super active Amazing Women in E-Commerce AWIE community on Slack, which you can access at awieworkspace.slack.com. And now, if you're just joining us for the first time, a little background on AWIE. Amazing Women in E-Commerce is an initiative we launched at Yotpo in 2018, where we seek nominations to recognize visionary women who are shaping the e-commerce space. For every nomination we receive, Yotpo pledges $5 to Girls Inc. Not only do we want to highlight the women already doing amazing things in the industry, but we want to invest in the next generation of business leaders as well. To date, we've raised over $120,000 to support the next generation of women leaders. And we've had an incredible response from the industry, which has inspired us to expand our efforts and create more opportunities to share these stories and build this community. So every year, we host online and offline events and share profiles and articles on amazing women and their work. And each year, from thousands of nominations, we select a group of women to honor as amazing women in e-commerce. And we're extremely excited to introduce you to some of those women today. First up, we have a very candid one-on-one conversation between AWIE 2022 honoree Katarina Oliveira, founder and CEO at Hey Harper, and Caroline Dow, Director of Product at Verbal Plus Visual. They'll be discussing how Katarina turned Hey Harper from a small business she ran out of her apartment in Lisbon to a global brand with a devout fan base. And later, we'll be talking to even more amazing women about the challenges and opportunities of marketing to Gen Z. Until then, over to you, Caroline.
Thanks, Kayla. My name is Caroline Dow. I'm the Director of Product and a partner at Verbal Plus Visual. I'm very excited today to be joined by Kate Oliveira, the founder and CEO of Hey Harper.
Hi.
She's here today. Hi. She's here to talk about her journey to founding a successful brand. Thanks so much for joining me today, Kate.
Thank you for inviting me. So excited to be here.
Very excited to hear about your journey. I'd love to start with just a quick introduction. Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself and the brand you've created?
Okay, so basically I'm Kate. I'm the founder and CEO of Hey Harper, a waterproof jewelry brand. I'm from Lisbon, Portugal, and I started Hey Harper 3.5 years ago. And here we are.
Just like easy as that, right?
So almost as easy.
So waterproof jewelry is a very unique product category. I'd love to hear a little more about how you came up with the idea and the need for that.
Of course. So basically, I was looking for jewelry that wouldn't look rusty and green after a few usages. I didn't have the money to buy real gold. So it was really hard to keep jewelry for a long time. And I was getting really frustrated because I would buy something and after a few uses, it will tarnish, and it was getting really frustrating. So basically I did some research and I found a specific material called stainless steel and a specific coating called PVD that will make the jewelry waterproof. So you will be able to buy jewelry for a much smaller amount of money and still have it for a long, long time.
It's actually funny. I dropped off some jewelry today that had to be cleaned because it was tarnished. So you definitely have a potential customer right here. And speaking of kind of customer base and audience, how did you really narrow in on who the right target audience was for the brand?
Actually, it was not really complicated because it was funny because I found out that a lot of people have this problem. So it's really frustrating when you spend like $100 or something in jewelry that would get tarnished just in a few weeks. So you can't go to the beach, you can't take shower, you can't wash your hands. So it was really, really easy to find an audience that was eager to have this kind of jewelry. Actually, the difficult part was to show and prove that this actually is true. So a lot of people still has some doubts regarding the product, like, is it really waterproof? How is it waterproof? I don't believe it. So that actually, this is the hard part. But once we sell the jewelry and they purchase it, they just become raving fans.
Amazing. I'm just curious, actually, how do you present that information to e-commerce customers? So how do you show them and prove to them? Because yeah, it is almost too good to be true, right?
Yes, totally. So basically, in the beginning, we were the first ones saying that our jewelry is waterproof. So we would just be straightforward like this. Okay. And it was super catchy. Actually, people would buy and ask and stop and know, they wanted to know more about it. It was really catchy in the beginning, and that's how I started. I was super straightforward about it. We relied a lot on reviews to show people that there were a lot of people buying it and actually saying it was waterproof. We have amazing stories of people. We have swimmers who wear our jewelry while they are training. So we have sports people, sports women. And so we have a lot of people that actually use and share about it. And that's how it started to actually grow.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I've heard a rumor that you've started Hey Harper in your apartment, and now you're really a global brand. So I'd love to hear a little more about that journey from starting kind of solo and really building it up over time.
Yes, I started my company in Hey Harper at my apartment in Lisbon. It was like a few months after I left my previous company that I worked previously, and I was just kind of bored and looking for the next challenge. So I started to I was making all the jewelry by myself. And that's how I started. I started taking pictures to my best friends, publishing on Instagram. I designed a really a basic Shopify store, and with the help of my boyfriend, we started making advertising on social media, especially on Instagram. And it was like a huge step. So together we created Hey Harper, and it was a huge step because we from the point zero we attacked like a global audience, not only in Portugal but from all over the world, UK, US, Germany. So since the beginning, that's how we started. It was good designs. We started with a basic website, and then we grew from there.
And do you have any sort of background in like jewelry design or anything like that? Kind of how did that piece come into play?
No, not at all. Actually, not at all. I'm used to do some jewelry, and actually I knit because my mom taught me in the past. I'm good at arts, and that's how it started. And that's the background I have. I'm fashion obsessed. So actually I have a lot of ideas and I scroll a lot. So if it makes sense, it was kind of easy for me to create like a brand image that I wanted. Of course, in the beginning, it was super amateur. It was really basic, like photos with my iPhone, and a really basic website designed by me. So it was really amateur, but it started, actually, I was not really obsessed about this and about this kind of amateur side. I was just worried about, trying to every time create better content, create better products, try every time with the money in the beginning I've made with the jewelry, I was always worried to create something better and with more quality and a better experience to the customers. So yeah, I didn't have a background in fashion, and actually it was not that useful. I think that it was like the all experience that I have with the digital marketing. I've worked for a digital company in the past. I worked with a model agency. So all this combined, I think it was more important than the fashion background, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and it sounds, also, I believe that Hey Harper wasn't your first foray into entrepreneurship. Is that correct? What were some of the other endeavors?
Actually, it was I was bored with my job, so I always thought that I needed like a second source of income. I didn't know that it will become like my job, my actual company. But yes, in the past I've designed and I started several stores on Shopify with drop shipping. Hey Harper is not the drop shipping company, but I started several drop shipping businesses. And all of them failed miserably, but it was nice to learn and to start testing Shopify and all the tools around it, to start to know. And after the third or fourth try, Hey Harper just took off.
I love that. I love, like, what were some of the learnings you took away from some of those failed initial endeavors?
Actually, it was nice. It was really interesting in the beginning because I was super obsessed with the right product and with the right image and what I knew or didn't know. And with the Harper, it was just go with the flow. I was not obsessive at all, maybe because I didn't have much expectations about it. So I was just worried about making. In the beginning, it was really nice because I knew all of my customers, because all of them talked with me on Instagram. So it was really, really interesting from there. And it was so organic in the beginning. Right now we have several. It's a huge customer base right now. I don't know them, but in the beginning I used to talk with them on Instagram. I was to help them styling the pieces that they would buy from us. So yeah, I think that the learning was, okay, just go with the flow, try to offer the best experience to your customers. Don't obsess about the perfect package, the perfect delivery time. Just try to be honest with your customers and create a good relationship with them. And once they know that you are in the beginning, they are more relaxed and they just understand your pains and they are happy to help you.
No, that's amazing. I think having that like direct communication, that direct line of communication with customers is invaluable, especially as you're building a brand, right? And yeah. I think it's something that brands, as they scale, have a hard time continuing. But it is, that sounds like it was such a catalyst to the success that you've seen.
Yeah, totally. I feel like, I'm sorry. I feel like right now, of course, it's impossible. We have customer agents that talk with all our customers and they help them, but I'm not in the front line with that. And it's for sure something that I miss because yeah, it was a connection that is really, really hard, as you were saying, to scale because who is the person behind the brand and who is the person that is actually helping them style like their outfit. Okay, Kate, I have a wedding. How can I style these jewelry pieces? And it was just like a DM message on Instagram away. And yeah, it's something really hard to scale for sure.
Yeah, that's the fun challenge, how to figure out how to keep that connection, right, with your customers.
Yeah, totally.
So you're talking about all this growth you've seen, and I know you have more than, I think over 20 employees now.
Right now.
As you've grown your company, what are the top things you're looking for in the people that you hire? Because I think as a growing brand, each hire must be so important. So what are kind of some of the qualities or things that you're looking for in those people?
So to be straightforward with you, the reason why Harper has the size and the success that we have right now is 100% correlated with the people that we hire. We hire really, really good people, and we try the best we can to pay them well. And actually, we we always try to hire the best of the best. We try to hire people that know more than us. We already do that. Of course, in the terms of their background, in terms of experience, we try to hire people that is, of course, super aligned with the thing, with what we are looking for, that work with companies that we believe that might have a fit with us. But in terms of soft skills, I'm always looking for people that first are super resourceful. We are a super small company, so we need people that don't need to be told what to do. This is super important. We don't have time to tell people what to do. We want them to be resourceful, to be independent, to come up with new ideas, to tell them, I just did this, that don't ask me for permission. We always look for people that are able, it's not super easy to spot this, but that are able to work with a really small company with limited resources, but that has really big ambitions. So that are able to juggle the budget and do it with. Sometimes it's hard to make miracles with the budget that we have available. So to have this kind of people that are okay, this is the budget that we have. What is the best we can do around it, and so this kind of. So yeah, I believe that this is the most the second most important thing, to be able to work in the company that is really small with small budget, but still make something huge to happen. And of course, I think that the third thing, and I believe that is what we have since the beginning, is the freedom to dream and to believe that nothing is really impossible. I know this is a cliche, but we don't have barriers. We don't have mental barriers on what we can achieve. So everything is possible if we find like the right direction, if we talk with the right people, if we work hard. We really have this kind of mentality that nothing is impossible, and sooner or later you get there. So I think that in terms of soft skills, these three parts are the most important thing.
Yeah, you know what? Just from the short time we've talked, I can say you seem like such a incredible person to work for. So I think, as much as you value your people, I think it sounds like that, they have such a great leader at the helm. So I think that's important, right? Because, you looking for those skills in them, they also, at the end of the day, need to see someone that's motivational and inspirational kind of at the front of the ship. So, absolutely. I mean it. What was the scariest thing for you as it relates to Hey Harper and kind of entrepreneurship more generally?
Yeah, this is not something really easy to find like an answer, but I believe that the hardest thing, but at the same time is one of my favorite things, is that you are always doing things for the first time. So no one teaches you how to navigate this world and what is the next step. So you are always doing things for the first time. And this is the scariest part. But for me, this is the funniest part, of course, because you fail a lot, but you grow a lot, you just move on. And I think this is the scariest thing, but at the same time it doesn't scare me that much, because this is the funny part. It's okay, just let's learn, let's look for it, let's try to know what to do next, and just go.
Yeah, I mean, I think you learn more from failures most of the time than you do from successes even, right?
I always say that we need to fail fast to move on fast. That's
No, I love that. Let's kind of flip it to the positive. So what's the most rewarding for you in regards to kind of building Hey Harper?
I think that is, at the end of the day, how far you have come as a person and as a company, for sure. I think this is the most rewarding part. To be honest with you, I never have that idea to come this far, and sometimes it's hard. I'm very competitive. I'm never happy with what I have, so sometimes it's hard to look back and say, okay, you have done an amazing job. So I think that for me the best part is sometimes to look back and see, okay, look at what we have accomplished with no funding, doing things for the first time, having just like an amazing team working together to pursue our dreams. So yeah, I believe that it's to look back and see how far we have come.
That's amazing. And outside of Hey Harper, what do you like to do when you're not busy running your company? What are some of your do you have time for hobbies or anything like that?
I do have time for hobbies. Actually, I really make time for it. I believe that we have to rest, and we have to take holidays and to spend time with our friends. I think it's the only way to have clarity and to be calm enough to make decisions. So I play paddle 3 to 4 times per week. I try to exercise while I'm not playing paddle, and the rest of the things, it's the basic. I try to read a lot. I try to spend the most time with my friends and family. I try to travel a lot. So, but I think that the most important stuff is I really try, and it's an advice that I give to everyone. Try to rest and take time for yourself and to be with your friends, because working is nice, and try to accomplish our goals is amazing, but we need to rest. You need to rest. It's the most important stuff.
Yeah. And I think find too, just different perspective when you take a step back, right? You can really refill the tank to be ready to give it all. Without resting, you burn out. It's the reality.
Yeah, totally. And it's something that mental health and burnout, as you were saying, it's something that is more and more common. And that culture, I think it's changing, actually, the culture of working nonstop. Finally, it's changing a bit. People are really tired, and of course with the COVID and everything, it's exhausting. So yes, totally, I think people need, and in the past I believe that people would look at taking holidays and resting as being not productive, or it was looked at with bad eyes. And I think this is changing. Of course, to be productive, people need to take rest and need to take time and need to be outside having fun and spending time with their families and friends. That's the only way.
Absolutely. So what's next for Hey Harper and for you personally?
Oh, there is so much to do still. For Harper, we are going to launch new product categories until the end of the year, which I think it's going to be huge. We are going to try to launch, to move a little bit, of course, in the accessories zone still, but new categories, trying to test new products. And we are going to start with physical retail. We born like a DTC brand with e-commerce is still our main channel, but we are testing in the waters with physical experiences. We already have one showroom in Portugal. We have retail partners that sell our products physically, but we are going to have a pop-up store until the end of the year. So in 2022, this is the main thing that we are going to do at Hey Harper, besides, of course, growing our the channels we already have, growing our presence in United States, UK, and Germany. But the big stuff right now is trying to test the waters with new categories and the physical retail. For me personally, I'm still having fun with Hey Harper, a lot of fun. I really believe that we are still in the beginning. So I'm really, really happy working there and building the company. We are in the beginning, totally, still so much to do, but I'm starting to feel the need to teach my knowledge, especially maybe to university students. So I believe that until the end of 2022, I will try to start teaching some classes or something like that. It's something that I'm still working on it, but maybe to work with the university, trying to teach like the next generation what I've learned until now.
I love that. You're really giving back to, and sharing, spreading all that you've learned.
Yeah, I really believe that we have, with the experience that I have at university, I believe that we have still a lot we still have a lot to do in terms of helping people to have the right mindset to start companies and building business and scale, at least in Portugal, but I believe around the world. So yeah, it's something that I really want to work on to help people to develop this kind of mindset and help them grow.
That's amazing. Well, good luck in this next stage of your journey.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you joining me today and telling us more about really the inspirational path that you've been walking down. Yeah, back to you, Kayla.
Thanks, Caroline. And now we're going to dive into a very hot topic right now, marketing to Gen Z. Carmel Zine, Yotpo's Senior Marketing Manager for APAC, will be moderating a panel of e-commerce and Gen Z experts, including Kim Zorn, AWIE 22 Honoree and Global Performance Director at Princess Polly, Alyssa Thomas, e-commerce manager at AWIE, and Kate Massey, head of APAC at SearchSpring. Take it away, Carmel.
Welcome to AWIE Online, everyone, for the do's and don'ts of marketing to Gen Z. My name is Carmel Zane and I head up the marketing at Yotpo Australia. And today I'm joined by a very exciting and inspiring panel of Gen Z experts to talk about what makes this generation so different and how brands can better connect with them to build loyalty and to boost sales. So very excited to announce and introduce our three panelists today: Kim Zorn, the Global Performance Director at Princess Polly, Kate Massey, Head of APAC at SearchSpring, and Alyssa Thomas, Ecom Manager at Age. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Pleasure. So I'm just going to get started and get you all to do some quick intros so you can introduce yourselves to everyone. Just tell me a little bit about what you do at your brands and the experience you have with marketing.
I'll start. I'm Kim. I'm managing the Global Performance Department at Princess Polly, overseeing over 30 channels and paid and organic performance. I joined Princess Polly 3.5 years ago now, originally from Germany, came to Australia 5 years ago and have 10 years of experience in the marketing industry, a little bit of agency and brand experience. And yeah, excited to be on that panel.
Thank you.
Great. And I'm Kate, head of APAC for SearchSpring. Let me start by saying when I was first asked to speak on this topic, I instantly had a flashback to the time I got my 13-year-old niece banned from Instagram. I was chatting to my sister how my niece was now my #1 fan, liking all my Insta posts, and I didn't realize she wasn't allowed Instagram and her mum didn't know she was on it. So sorry, Michaela. So I wasn't sure I was the best equipped to speak on this topic, but I do have over a decade of experience as a career marketer. I'm really looking forward to unpacking the insights into today's session. At SearchSpring, we're helping brands personalize their shopping experiences to the different segments of shoppers and really making it as easy as possible for those shoppers to get to the products that they're looking for, whilst building connection to the brand by creating those best-in-class online shopping experiences. And before joining SearchSpring, I was a CMO, where I evolved a career in an ever-changing industry. So marketing today is very, very, very different to what it was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or even since the start of the pandemic as well. So really looking forward to unpacking those insights into those unique characteristics of Gen Z, and as the different marketing trends come and go. And yeah, really looking forward to especially Kim and Alyssa's insights into some of those challenges and successes, and what's relevant right now in marketing to Gen Z, but also where we're heading as well.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks.
And I'm Alyssa. I'm e-commerce manager at Age. I've been working at Age now nearly for 3 years. I work across our 2 brands, so Age and Age Athletica, and I trade our 3 websites. So we have an Australian website, a New Zealand website, and a 3rd website, which we call our Rest of World site. So I've had over 8 years experience kind of in the e-com space, working very closely with our marketing team, our social team, to really kind of ensure that we are presenting a really seamless kind of experience offline and online for our Gen Z customer.
Amazing. Thank you all. I'm so excited to unpack this topic with you. I think where we'll start, I mean, obviously we know that this Gen Z, they have a huge buying power, combined buying power of 143 billion actually, which is huge. And the oldest cohort within this group are just a couple of years out of uni or college. So what would be interesting to understand is, how do you think they differ from generations before them? So I think within your brands, you might have a few different demographics of generations who are shopping with you, and you've also seen the previous generations. So what's so different and unique about this one? Let's start with you. Yeah.
Yeah. For us, like Gen Z is definitely, if you read studies, they're the most diverse and most educated generation there is. And I've recently read a study that the attention span is decreasing from 12 seconds, I think it was in 2000, to now 1.7 seconds for social media users, which is really low. But for us, we see that the attention span is not decreasing, it's just evolving. We do have, Gen Z, they're used to Netflix that shows you like what you like, and, only movies and series that you prefer. Same with like Spotify, like it's all tailored to your interests and needs. And that's what we see, that Gen Z really wants content that they want and they need, and that mirrors their interests. What we do is, we work a lot with personalization, and we tailor content to certain platforms, native ads, to engage our customers and to make it engaging as possible and as interesting for them as possible.
Awesome. Alyssa, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, of course. I guess what we've really noticed as a business is that they're kind of a much harder generation to please. So they know exactly what they want, and they're kind of not afraid to tell us what they want from us. I've also recently read, and it kind of, I didn't even realize, but it makes sense, that they are the first generation to have been raised completely on technology. So they have access to the internet all times of day, that they're really a generation that may want to make a change. And I think that's quite evident. And they're really determined to kind of use their power to kind of better the world we live in. What we've really established at Age is that Gen Z, they really need more from us than just buying into our product. So they want to know as a business what we're doing as well to make a change. So what are our business values? And what they not only want from a valuable product is they want our product to provide value in their lives. Really, realistically, they don't just buy from us for the sake of it. There has to be a real point to it. And that's what we really have established recently.
Yeah, I really like that. We class them as those digital natives, so they're a generation that are excited and engaged by experiences. One of the things I find really interesting is they're also, because they are that savvy, they're training algorithms to show them more content that they enjoy through liking, commenting, and sharing on the content that appeals to them most as well. So they're actually training the algorithm to give them more of what they're engaging with too.
Yeah, totally. Which I guess, Kate, I know you work with a lot of brands to enable unique ways to engage shoppers, and that's the power of SearchSpring, really. Can you give us some tips on how brands can really approach this type of marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of our standout clients when it comes to mind when talking about marketing to Gen Z has to be one of the brilliant and unexpected, I would say, huge success stories that is the AWIE. So they're a client of ours. Their tagline on Instagram is "like a jumper crossed with a blanket, crossed with a cloud," right? And who would have known this wearable blanket would be the success it is? And they absolutely have a mobile first strategy. Their social and influencer marketing quite literally exploded. But also, it's not just about selling one product for the AWIE. It's really looking at growing the average order value through their bundling, their promotions around buying for family or friends or loved ones. And they really look at capturing that seasonal and holidays and trends with new product drops. And as I was seeing on their Instagram today, they don't just do new product drops, they do limited edition product drops, right? So creating that scarcity piece as well, and that, as the Gen Z might say, the FOMO, so that fear of missing out if they don't take action before it sells out. They have so much engaging user-generated content as well, and that content that they're putting out there is also encouraging their audience to engage with that content too. So whether it's the surveys or the polls, or submitting that user-generated content as well. And I think there has never been a better time than right now with the hoodie. Again, it is cold outside. Kim and I were at the iMedia gala dinner the other night, and I think everyone would have loved to be rocking around in hoodies because it was cold even on the Gold Coast. And I'd say that if you're not already, like if you're looking at marketing to Gen Z and you're not already following the hoodie on Instagram, just head over there, give them a follow. They're doing a lot of really clever and engaging things that can be applied across the different brands that people are working with.
Yeah, nice. My daughter definitely wears her hoodie to Coles and Woolies at night, and it's the best because I don't have to worry about her keeping warm, and she loves it, so it's good. But I love that you spoke a little bit about the mobile consumer and how the new consumer want to be communicated with, and even touching on that emotional based marketing. So something I know works really well for Princess Polly, of course, is SMS marketing, and you guys are just killing it with how you're doing it, seeing amazing ROI. And clearly you're doing something right with that. So could you, Kim, give a little bit of advice on how to use that tool effectively?
Sure. Yeah, when we evaluated SMS, I think 2.5 years ago, I was definitely a little bit skeptical because I always saw SMS as super spammy, and I did not want our customers to feel like we spam them. So there's a lot of things that you can do wrong with SMS, but for us, SMS now is one of the most powerful channels that we have in the business. And yeah, I'm a big SMS fan. The ROI that we see is extremely high and higher than on other channels. For us, when we set up SMS, we built a text club. So my vision for the program was to only send exclusive offers via SMS, and to get people excited if they get an SMS for us, rather than being like, oh God, that's like another product release, or like, they don't want to hear from you like 5 times a week. And it's nice to hear like so many customers reach out and they say, we're excited to get an SMS. So yeah, that text club is like an exclusive club. They always get offers that you can't find on the page. And I think what's really important as well is personalization. We always include their name if we have it in the SMS. And we also use SMS specific discount codes. So if we have a 25% discount offer, we use codes like SMS VIP 25 or SMS 20. And we always include that whole SMS or text message club in like our discount code strategy as well.
So good. I love it. And I just want to go to you, Alyssa, because I know at Age you're using a number of different marketing channels and you're across all of them, which is amazing. Can you talk to us about some of the channels that you've seen the most success for this particular group of shoppers?
Yeah, look, I would say we are still quite new to kind of market this generation. I would say we're constantly evolving as a brand and really tapping into what the customer is calling out for. And I would say in particular, like social media platforms, we are really, well, I'm a bit of a TikToker myself. So I very much am so excited that we're kind of getting a bit of traction on TikTok as a brand, and really kind of working with the social media team to ensure that we are kind of posting things on brand, but are also kind of suitable for that customer on that channel. But look, as eCom manager, my kind of biggest focus is really ensuring that our mobile site is really kind of seamless. And like I said before, the Gen Z customer is kind of known to be shopping from device and from platform to platform, and just making sure that the customer feels like they're kind of getting that same on-brand journey from Instagram to the website to TikTok, that it's kind of the same message that we're really conveying. And it's all really about authenticity. I think if you're a brand and you're trying, I think, a bit too hard to play down to a particular generation, I think it really does show. And I think it's just really being authentic as a brand.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Speaking of authenticity, are there any other sort of tactics that you have seen that don't work other than being disingenuine?
Yeah, I think what has previously worked before in the past to other generations is kind of engaging with big name influencers. So I would say Gen Z, they really want real people. They want relatable people. And I would say what we've seen, they kind of see right through brands who pay to have product on people. And whilst I'm not saying that doesn't work whatsoever, I think that customer Gen Z is very... that they'll call it out if they think it's not authentic. I'd also say paid advertising. Again, that customer's tech savvy. She knows exactly, she or he knows exactly how paid advertising works. And like I said, whilst it's important, I think the Gen Z customer wants kind of more of an authentic journey to site. I would also say, whilst Facebook is still quite an important platform, and of course a social media platform, I would say it's kind of more apparent that the level of engagement on the app for that kind of generation is declining. They're definitely spending more time browsing on platforms like TikTok and Instagram that serve them more relevant content. So they're kind of what I would say are the tactics that maybe aren't as strong for those Gen Z customers.
Yeah, amazing. That makes perfect sense. We were talking a little bit about brand values and how that's super important for this generation, and Gen Z customers, they just pay more attention to it. I think we've done some surveys that show that more than 90% actually care very strongly about it, and it determines the way that they shop. So might throw this one first to Kate. What are some of the ways that you could advise that are best for brands to really communicate these values?
Yeah, I think it starts with really understanding what are those brand values, right? So making sure as a brand that there's that real clarity and buy-in to what that brand does stand for across the entire business. And then I think it's around consistently looking at how to kind of communicate those brand values with customers and with shoppers, and to build that as part of that cohesive story. So take one of our clients is Booty. And Booty creates sustainable, ethical bamboo clothing and underwear. Their messaging is so consistently Booty. It doesn't matter where you're seeing them or engaging with them, and it's really hard not to fall in love with what they're doing as a brand. And this is at every touch point. They're communicating their brand values, their positive impact on the planet, and all the way through to recently announcing a partnership with world-renowned environmentalist Jane Goodall. And that's not your traditional influencer. And I think that's what Alyssa was saying earlier about being authentic and really connecting with relevant influencers that are perfect alignment for the brand and for the audience to connect to. Another great example is The Upside. They're very, very intentional about what they stand for. And I love their focus on how do we move through the world? How we move through the world matters, right? And so they have a portion of every item that is sold donated to the Cambodian Children's Trust, and they communicate this mission as you click throughout the website. It's not hidden on their About Us page or their story page. They're bringing that to life through the use of inline banners and talking about that throughout the product listing results as well. I think they're doing that really neatly completely. So really starting to look at how can they bring more of that messaging throughout the website, not just on the homepage, not just on the About Us page as well. It's really front and center, and it's really starting to build that community of engaged shoppers that really support their ethos and what they stand for as a brand.
Yeah, very cool. Kim, I'm interested to hear how you guys do it as well, because Princess Polly is such a fun, quirky brand. What are some ways that you kind of put out those values?
Yeah, I think like Kate said, it's to understand what your customer values and to also understand what the brand stands for. And we're a big believer that this starts within the team and within the business. So if you want to make change, you need to start, within the business. And yeah, we are really transparent with our customers. We have a sustainability range. We have an exclusive range. We have Princess Polly Society and work with a lot of charities. We also have that at checkout. You can donate to our partner charities at checkout. And we have hubs where you can read about our program, what we do, and we regularly also communicate that via socials and our EDMs. And yeah, but you have to understand what your values are, and you have to make sure that you can actually live up to these values as well.
Absolutely, it's very important. So what would you say, like we've covered a lot and there's a lot happening right now in the industry. Can you think of what might be coming next for e-commerce and Gen Z in particular?
Yeah, I think for us, what we're looking into is live shopping. It's definitely something that I feel is like on the rise. We haven't figured it out yet. We're on the way, but I think that could potentially be the next big thing in the industry.
Very interesting. Alyssa, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we very much, well, me in particular, am very curious about this whole live streaming scenario. We've already sort of seen it with one of our kind of customer groups that we have at Age, who already are doing this live streaming situation. So very keen to kind of tap into that a bit further. I think as well, what's really important and kind of, I think for this generation is the continual use of like UGC. So I would say that the most genuine content that we get is generated by our consumers. So kind of not rewarding them, but kind of utilizing the content to reach back out to the customer, and kind of it's like closing that relationship loop, and kind of, yeah, letting them know that we kind of, I don't know, we agree, or I don't know, not we stand by them. That sounds a bit silly or a bit cheesy, but that we kind of like, we appreciate them as a customer, and like I don't know, it's a bit hard to work out what I'm trying to say, but I don't know, just that, yeah, the communication to them like in a personal and relatable way by kind of, yeah, reusing their content and working with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also add reviews onto that as well. So being able to bring that reviews, and I read a stat, 82% of Gen Z would buy online from a brand after reading the review data. So the UGC and tying that in with the review data as well, I think is such an important part of that credibility and strengthening that brand credibility in the market to encourage those particularly new shoppers, but also returning shoppers looking at for more of the product range as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's end on one question, and I'll just get a thought from each of you. So if brands could only do one thing to make their Gen Z marketing more impactful next year, what should it be?
For me, it would be SMS. It's a direct way to the customer. I feel email for us, is still super effective, but you land in like a big inbox with heaps of other emails, while with the SMS, you have a direct line to the customer, and it can be super impactful if done right.
Love to hear it. Okay.
Great. I would say mapping out the path to purchase. So really understanding that full experience. So where are the audience engaging with the marketing content, and then where are they going to transact, and how can you make those different touch points as seamless and personalized as possible to turn those browsers into shoppers and those shoppers into lifelong returning fans of the brand. As an example of this, if there's an influencer collection, can shoppers then go onto a website and search for that influencer and return those products? And are they returning in the order that best suits that page, and have they optimized that content and those banners on that page in line with your influencer advertising or influencer content? And then how do you then tie that into growing things like the average order value through AI-driven personalization of what are they most likely to purchase based on what other similar shoppers have gone on to purchase as well. And really then tying that into that email marketing strategy as well. So what have they done on site when they've come to site, and what is then going to what are they then looking at to influence that future purchase behavior as well? So I think, yeah, just that optimizing that path to purchase can see really great results in further improving conversions and therefore generating that return on investment on that marketing spend as well.
Nice. Thank you.
Sorry, I just need to cough.
Go for it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I hope you can get that out. I would say personalization for us as a brand, that's where I would say from an ecom manager, I see kind of the biggest impact in the next year. We've spoken to it a bit already, but I think prioritizing bringing kind of that human element, the brand values in an authentic and relatable way through your strategy. I think it very much comes down to business values, and I think, Kim, you touched on it before. I think if the team you hire live and breathe those business values, I think it reflects in the work they produce. And again, touching on it, I think that just kind of it shows the authenticity of the work that's coming out. And I think that customer, the Gen Z customer, will be able to see it and relate to it.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much. It's been so insightful. I'm really excited to see the next chapter of all of your journeys. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Carmel. And that's it for our Amazing Women in E-commerce online event. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you haven't yet, join us on Slack where we'll keep the conversation going. And if you want to talk about the event on social media, remember to use the hashtag Women in Ecom, and you can tag us too at Women in Ecom and at Yotpo. And finally, we'll be sending the recording link out to everyone who registered, so you can see anything you missed and share it with your colleagues. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next AWIE Online.